How's it going, guys? Today's video is going to be a little bit different. You see, on Instagram a few days ago I asked you to send in questions for me to answer in one of these videos. So here we go. I've picked a selection of my favourite questions, and in this video I'm going to read them and answer them, and I've tried not to give them too much thought before starting the camera recording. The first question is from XX and they say, how do I know when herb flowers flower and go to seed, and do I need to avoid it? Do I need to stop them, I think? And the answer to this question is quite complicated. It's not a yes or no. So annual herbs such as basil, dill, coriander, when they go to seed, you'll see this being described as bolting. That is the annual plant's way of basically ensuring their survival. So once those plants start to go to seed, really that's not desirable because the energy is going into those seeds rather than producing all the beautiful leaves with the flavour. For herbs like lavender, rosemary, thyme that produce beautiful flowers, I tend to think that it's not actually so much of a problem because actually the flowers are beautiful. Sure, the plant is putting its energy into producing those flowers, but the local bee population really enjoy the flowers, and it makes me feel good when I see them too, so I tend to leave those flowers be. Thank you so much for the question. That was a really good question to get us started. The next question is from Houseboat Laura, who asks, my mint has bolted, 3 pots, Moroccan, lime and strawberry, they all look bedraggled, help. We can certainly help with that. I'm actually recording this video in sort of mid to late summer, and we've had some warm weather here in the UK which has brought the plants on really quickly, and at this time of year all the herbs are growing so quickly anyway. Sometimes mint gets a bit bedraggled and leggy from that growth, so all you can do is actually chop that back, and the plants will actually enjoy that. It will encourage them to put on fresh growth. Very often when people encounter these problems, the answer is pruning. The answer is to cut them back, and the mint will be absolutely fine with that. I can show you here with a strawberry mint that has got a little bit leggy, and you could really cut that back quite drastically, even right the way down, and let it shoot again from the base. Give it a good haircut. The mint will absolutely love that. But Houseboat Laura, thank you so much for that question. It's a really good question, one that I think a lot of people are going to be sort of wondering about. The next question is a little bit different. It's from Cake, Craft and Countries, who asks, have you any recipe suggestions for using chocolate mint in baking? I know that so many of our customers have used chocolate mint in baking to great success. I like to think I know about growing herbs a little bit, but in the kitchen I'm a bit experimental. It works sometimes. I love it all the time. I know that my wife has made beautiful cookies using chocolate mint and it tasted amazing. But honestly, the best suggestion that I can make is to go to an account on Instagram called Peg's Plot. Claire, who runs Peg's Plot, she does amazing recipes using herbs. She's a really good cook, so please check out Peg's Plot because you will love the content that she does. And there's actually a second question from Cake, Craft and Countries, who asks, ideas for using the cola plant in cooking. I love the smell of this herb. I need ideas of how best to use it. Well, I've got some good news for you because I can help you here. Cola plant really does have that beautiful cola flavour. And we were at the BBC Good Food Show a few weeks ago, and loads of the celebrity chefs stopped by and looked at our herbs. And one of them suggested using it as a glaze on meat. And actually that makes a lot of sense because you can get a cola rub for gammon. So that's one idea. It's also great in cocktails. All of our customers will vouch for that. But here we tend to put a little bit of cola plant in a bottle of water on a really warm day, and it just makes it more interesting. I absolutely love it. I really hope that helps, and thank you so much for such a great question. I've got another really good question just come up on my screen. It says, is a cold greenhouse a good place to keep the more delicate herbs over winter? This is a really good question that I think so many people are going to be wondering about, especially at this time of year. And the answer depends on quite a few variables. It depends on what kind of a winter we have. if we're going to have a mild winter, that increases your chances of success. Just here in the UK, if you're in the far north of Scotland, you're going to struggle really. Maybe in the far south of Cornwall, you'll get away with a lot more. Coal greenhouses will certainly offer some protection. Even a polytunnel will offer some protection. But the insulation properties of a polytunnel, I should point out, are nowhere near as good as even a coal greenhouse. It will certainly increase your chances, but so much depends on where you are and also what kind of a winter we end up getting. Ruxana Saeed asks, should I cut my herbs back at the end of summer? That's a really good question, and the answer depends on which herbs we're talking about. I mean, firstly, the growing season always goes on a little bit longer than I think it does. I always imagine October as being freezing cold and the end of summer being the end of September. So many of the perennial herbs that will actually lose their foliage during the winter will carry on growing happily into October. When those herbs start to die back, you can always cut them back and tidy them up down to ground level. It's also worth saying though that so many herbs like rosemary, thyme and sage will just carry on evergreen through the winter, and that's really cool because I'm going to be using lots of them. I hope that that answers your question, but if you wanted to clarify that even more, just fire us a message on Instagram, we'll be happy to help you. And last but by no means least, this isn't a question, but it was just really cool, it just came up on my screen. Catalyst Court sent us a message saying, no question, you've inspired me to start a herb growing business here in Washington. And we've exchanged a few messages following receiving that message, that lovely message. And I just think that that's so cool that me standing here in a polytunnel in the Midlands in the UK has inspired somebody else to do something really cool. Because I always say to people that this is the best job ever. I'm recording this video here on a Monday evening, it's around 7:30. I'm not sure if you can hear the rain on the roof of the polytunnel, but it's the best sound ever. It's the best job in the world, and I'm sure that you're going to enjoy growing herbs in Washington. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed that little Q&A session. It's a little bit different. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. Drop me a comment below and ask me a question, because I'm going to do another one of these videos and I could answer your question. Let's keep this going. Guys, thank you so much for your company. I hope you enjoyed that Q&A. I really did. Until next time guys, see you later.